Just buy it today and get it today with not a nickel, not a dime, zero zilch, zip down. Don't miss the boat. The Columbus Day sale on now at Price Busters Furniture.
There are so many stories of heroism coming out of the tragedy in Vegas this week. One turned into an emotional reunion live on the Today Show.
By the time I got over the wall, my pants were already soaked and my shoe was full of blood. So no, I wouldn't have made it. I know I wouldn't have. So I'm very thankful that James was there and to help me. And there he is.
Hey man, thanks buddy. Of course, man. I appreciate it.
Tom McIntosh, there on the right, was shot in the leg during the Vegas shooting. This morning, he got to meet the stranger who helped him. James Lawson is with the Army Reserves, training as an EMT. He used a belt to fashion a makeshift tourniquet around Tom's bleeding leg.
He kept wanting to not lose his foot, and I kept reassuring him that, and he still got it. We're good.
Lawson said while his training came in handy, there were dozens of other people at that concert who did the same thing he did. They helped others on the spot.
Well, anxiety and uneasiness tonight in the Prince George's County neighborhood of Fort Washington. A little girl was sexually assaulted after she got off the school bus last week, and that attacker has not been found. News 4's Chris Gordon reports.
Terrified parents picking up their children. They're afraid after an elementary school student was sexually assaulted last week in this neighborhood. The little girl was attacked walking home up Devon Hills Drive last Thursday afternoon.
Like when it first happened, nobody told us. Like everybody else knew. I had to find out, get a phone call from the neighbor.
At Grasmere Court, about a block after she got off the school bus, the little girl was alone. She was grabbed by a stranger, dragged between two cars where she was sexually molested. He touched her inappropriately. The little girl was able to break away and run. Police say they got a good description of the suspect.
So the suspect at this time, we believe, is a Hispanic male, about 5'8", 260 pounds, with a mustache and black or very dark hair, and at the time was wearing a green shirt.
The school system is working closely with police, issuing this warning to parents.
Parents, talk to your children about walking in groups of 2 or more, safe walking routes. Stay in an area where you're easily visible, always. And if something out of the ordinary does occur, report it to your parents, report it to the school as quickly as possible.
Police are trying to determine if this suspect has ever sexually assaulted another child. They want to arrest him and take him off the street to remove the danger to Devon Hills and other neighborhoods here in Prince George's County. Chris Gordon, News 4.
One of the world's wealthiest women is investing in some of our region's best sports teams. Laureen Powell Jobs, widow of Apple founder Steve Jobs, is taking a 20% stake in Monument Sports and Entertainment, according to the Washington Post, which estimates the investment to be in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Monument controls the Wizards, Capitals, Mystics, and Capital One Arena. Oh, Monumental, what did I say? Sorry. Ted Leonsis will remain chief executive of Monumental.
Hey, speaking of, the Wizards basketball season begins a little more than 2 weeks from today. When you're watching them on TV, you're going to notice a new face on the broadcast.
Kara Lawson will be one of the first women serving as the primary analyst for an NBA team. She's here in the studio. We're very excited. And we're also excited to have Dave Johnson, who is also the voice of the Wizards on the radio.
This is how it all starts. We're going to spend a lot of time together over the next few months as well. You'll be on NBC Sports Washington with Steve Buchanson. As Wendy and Jim just mentioned, we talk about being a primary analyst, a woman primary analyst on an NBA team. Is that much on your mind, or does this really just seem like a natural progression? Because basketball has been so much of your life right into commentating for ESPN.
I think it's a little bit of both, Dave. I started in this industry 14 years ago, and I first started working with the Sacramento Kings as a pregame, halftime, postgame analyst in that capacity. And that was a goal I set for myself early on in the business was, man, this would be really cool one day to do it for an NBA team, to call the games, to be a part of the group, to travel and get a chance to really embed yourself in a team for a season.